What is going on out there in our NBA world? This is the MNC Hoops, ready to come back with you for another episode. I'm your host, Michael. Of course, over here to my left is my co-host up in New York, CJ. How we doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, bro. Doing well. Weekend went pretty swell. Let's go. It's good, my guy. What's going on, man?
How we
Yes,
doing?
sir. Yes, sir. All is well. Playoff basketball. This is a great week for me. Great week. Great week for me, man. My guy. Legendary shot for the city. We'll obviously talk about
Yes.
that in a few, but it's a great week. Got a lot of work done. So
Lakers in 9.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Listen, well, we'll get into it, but I'm loving Ant-Man right now. I'm just gonna say that at least. He's becoming one of my favorites. That's all you can say. What he's been doing, backing up his trash talk, phenomenal. That's all you could say.
Absolutely.
All right. So, my week has been up and down. I'm not going to lie. Just been some crazy things going on with me. Health issues still again. Just under a lot of stress, I think. Just what's going on with there. But lining it out, had to take yesterday off and have one of those, what do they call it? Personal time off days. How we doing? Johnny, appreciate you jumping in here as always. Of course, he's got him a Twitter account now, CJ. I don't know if you've seen him on Twitter. He'll probably follow you, but it's Johnny Cats Chat. He's our number one fan. I'm telling you, he loves us. We love him too. But of course, this is MNC Hoops. But my daughter, we've been watching the NBA game, waiting for this for us to go live here. Sorry, I will be eating me a snack here shortly. We've been trying to work on that for a little bit. You know, Daddy gets cravings, and the kids love it, so we make it happen. So Mama's taking care of us. We bet having some hot fudge cake. Of course, I just told my wife, Mama, that I wanted a hot fudge sundae, but when Mama gave me the list, it had fudge cake and everything else on there. So, we're going all out.
So there's some weekend swell eats with the family.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. So usually the kids are already in bed, so they're still up trying to wait on the brownies to get done. So it's going to be a late night here in the Lawson house, but you know what? Hopefully they'll keep it down.
Hey, man,
Sometimes we can't be professional.
Nah, it's all good. Family time. It's
Yes, sir.
So
Absolutely.
everything.
Well, speaking of family, let's go ahead and jump into your family and the number 3 seed New York Knicks going on. Of course, number 6 Detroit Pistons. That series is over. New York does come out on top 4-2 in this series. CJ, I'm just going to back up and listen to you talk about this because Brunson looking nice too.
All right, so let me start off with what I don't like.
Okay, because I figured we would get there because I've seen you on Twitter talking to some concerns here. So go ahead.
Yeah. So let me start with what I don't like, and then finish off the breakdown positive.
Okay.
So actually, everything's positive. It's constructive criticism to make them better.
Gotcha.
Karl Anthony Towns. Now he played well in some games. He had a 29-point game. 31-point game. Double doubles in some of these games, but a lot of possessions, plenty of quarters throughout this series against the Pistons. It's a lot of fading. You can't fade in the playoffs. Like you're a 6'11", 3-level scorer, right? So you have gifts that other players at your size and weight do not have. So it's very important for just as a fan and seeing how talented he is. I just would like to see him capitalize on that more than what we see, because he has an untapped potential to where with his shooting ability at that size, he could easily go down as one of the greatest scoring centers of all time. Now, he had a great season his first year with the Knicks, all NBA, going to make the All-Star team, average a double-double, top 3 in rebounds, career high with Thibodeau. Again, increased his career high from the Minnesota year when he was with Thibodeau. So there's some good things, but in games, I'm just not a fan of him fading. It's a lot of times where he just stands in the corner. No. You need to be setting some off-ball screens, slip into the basket, like, or you're on the screen action doing something. You just need to be a part of the offense. There's no way that he's not a part of some of these offensive possessions. I feel like there were a lot of offensive possessions where it was Brunson hero ball. And against the Celtics, against the Cavs, that's not going to be enough in order to get 4 wins in a playoff series. It may win you 1 or 2 games, but you need counters to the gifts that Brunson have. And I feel like we have the talent to be able to match up with anybody, but it's in terms of the scheme and the consistency and the way we execute that I'm not necessarily a fan of. I see a lot of stagnant possessions from the Knicks just way far too often. I mean, they're struggling to get 100 in some games. When you have all five of the players on the team, on the starting 5 can score 20. You should never be struggling to get 100 points. Now, I know defense win championships, of course. But when you have that type of talent level in your starting 5, clearly one of the best starting 5s in the league, top 5 for sure, however you want to rank that. You look at the All-Stars and what they've done. I expect more. I don't know, it's for me, because when you trade 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, right? I need to see just more creativity from the offense. I feel like we don't get that from Tibbs. This is some of the criticisms I've had with Tibbs pretty much since he's been the head coach. He's done some fantastic things for the organization, completely transformed the organization into something positive. I don't want to not bring that up, but it's also, it's not perfect. I don't like some of the possessions I see on offense. I feel like I'd like to see Cat get the ball a little bit more on the high post, be more of a playmaker. Bridges is a good cutter. OG is a good cutter. Hart also does a great job of cutting as well, and so does Brunson. Everybody could cut and move the ball. Our offense should be way more complex than what it is. And against the teams like the Celtics and the Cavs, you have to have complex, creative offenses to keep them on their heels, because what they do well automatically is something you have to account for and be ready for. Possession by possession. It's not even like game by game. It's literally possession by possession, because they have one of the best starting 5s in the world. So, just that, those are things that I didn't like. And I feel like those are situations and some of the flaws that the Knicks have that the Celtics are going to easily try to expose and bring to light, and see if the Knicks can have a counter to it, because if they don't, it's going to be a tough series. We already saw in the regular season 0-4 against the Celtics. They've averaged 125 points. Yeah. So things have to change here in the second round. What are they made of? You get swept in the regular season. What are you made of? We'll break that down a little later. Brunson, 2022, November 2022. It was Michael, Nick, and I. We were doing the show. And I said it was Count the Bucket at the time. Exactly. And I said Jalen Brunson is a superstar. I said he was a superstar. It was the way he plays. It's just the way he plays. He's never wavers. He's always even keel. He's efficient. He doesn't turn the ball over, which is literally the top 3 thing that a point guard needs to have. He should never turn the ball over as the point guard. But his usage rate and the fact that he doesn't turn the ball over like that, that's why you keep the basketball in his hands. I get it, but he has a team. And I think he's getting 7-8 assists, but we're finishing the game with 18 assists. So if he has 8 and the rest of the team has 10, it's just not good enough. It should be easily in the mid-20s with the talent that they have. Pistons, they're a tough team. They're a tough team. JB Bickerstaff is one of the best coaches in the league. We saw what he did. He was the guy that really laid the foundation for what we see the Cavs today. It was kind of like the quasi Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr situation there. And over there in Cleveland, he gets another opportunity to do something in Detroit, and that's exactly what they do. They had an incredible season. It's not even a fluke season. I believe they're here to stay because of the talent that they have. Kate Cunningham was special through all year. Had a great season. In his debut playoffs, I think he played really well. They just need some help. When you don't know who your second guy is every night, it's going to be tough for you to win a series. And that's really what it was for the Pistons. Sometimes it was Schroeder. Sometimes it was Hardaway Jr., Beasley. You need to know who that second guy is every single night in the playoffs. Because then from there, everybody else can play their role. If it's one guy and then a bunch of, you get, and they were close. All these games are close. You get Jaden Ivey to me is that second guy for them. So once they get Jaden Ivey back healthy, hopefully he gets healthy, towards ACL early in the season. Wish him the best. I'm sure he's recovering, getting back. I saw him on the bench in some of these games. That's the second guy for them. And I think they complement each other really well. If both players could work on their outside spacing.
I'm just going to say that's looking pretty good, ain't
it? Cunningham and Ivy outside spacing, they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem in the East for the next decade because they both could get downhill. So if the shooting is there, it creates open opportunities for their teammates. Jalen Duren's 21. It's his playoff debut as well. He's going to be their center for the foreseeable future. Just what he's been able to do and grow as a player, I've been impressed with. Malik Beasley's signed a 1-year deal, so they're going to have to. You need to extend him. I mean, that's a player you keep. Led the league in 3-point makes this year. It's essential to have outside shooting. He's one of the best in the world. He's been that way pretty much since he's been in the league. He was on. I remember he was on the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. He's been everywhere. I believe the Pistons could be home for him. Just based on the city, how he played. He was talking trash, and we silenced them easy. It was great, especially when you go down to that last possession. He had an opportunity to get the three. Stone hands, got to be able to catch the ball. That game 6, we were up 13. Then we came back. Then they came back. Then they got the lead. Just throughout the game, I was never really worried in the game. I was worried, of course, because the Pistons are really good, but I wasn't that worried because I was always confident because of Brunson. I was confident. He's a closer. He was one clutch player of the year for a reason. Asor Thompson, I got multiple stops on him, consecutive stops. And I was saying, he has to move the ball. Like, move the ball. Like, if you're dribbling more than 5 times in a possession, give it up. Give up the basketball. You have teammates, bro. That's one thing I do not like about him. Sometimes I feel like he holds on to the basketball a little too long, and you have teammates. You have actual players. It's not like you're carrying,
Right.
So Asor gets these stops. He had a 24-second violation on Brunson, and then we see the crossover. Takes him all the way. Nice ghost screen by Mikal Bridges to kind of just make him think about something else. And Brunson drives right, crosses it over. Drives left, crosses over back to the right. Cash 3. It was just, it was incredible. It was incredible to see live. It's one of the greatest shots in New York sports history already. And I'm just happy he chose New York, man. He could have went anywhere. He chose New York. He said he wanted to come to the Knicks and help change the Knicks. He's a living legend in this city already.
Oh, for sure.
I believe if he continues this for the next 7 to 8 years, we're looking at a first ballot Hall of Famer, no question.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to tell you real quick. My internet seems like it's going in and out. I lost you a few times there, so I'm going to actually try to hardwire straight into this. So if I lose you for a second, it's just because it's switching over, okay?
Oh, good, brother. Oh, good. So, yeah, that's just what I saw. Just, again, the Knicks. They're talented. OG Anunoby, I believe, should get the second most shots on the team, because when he scores 30, we have a great record. I believe we're like 7-0 when he scores 30 in the game, because it's not just the 30, it's what else he brings to the table. And it should be Cat. Cat should be the best player he should be averaging the most points on the team. And then the fourth quarter, him and Brunson should be going off because no one should be able to stop Karl-Anthony Towns at his size. No one. No one. Again, 6'11", three-level scorer that's shooting over 43% from three. He doesn't go to the free throw line enough. And that's why he only averages around 24 points a game. If he went to the free throw line, 8, 9 times a game, he's averaging 30. Easy. But he'd rather stay on the perimeter at times. I think in the offseason, he's definitely trying to work on his post moves a little bit more. That mid-range, that fadeaway shot that he did on Tobias Harris on that right side in both games, that's incredible. You're only seeing KD at that height do something like that. Only KD is doing that type of shot at that height. So and then you see the three where he ball fakes, resets, and he's like 30-something feet out, like 20-something feet, 28, 29 feet out. Drilling it, like not even backboard. So this guy's special. And it's just, then we see the 10-point. Like, how are you only getting 10 points and you're playing 40 minutes? How?
That's
like,
crazy.
That doesn't even, how does that even, how do you only get 10 points in 40 minutes? So it's just, it's just that thing where it's just that, like, kind of like, it needs to change. He needs to be aggressive. He needs to really, I feel like that they should start the game by letting him get it going early. Let him and OG get it going early. Mm-hmm. And then Brunson in the second half can do what he does. And then they'll still have the rhythm from what they were doing in the first couple quarters. And then we should be able to take teams apart, especially if we're getting stops. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Cat defensively as well. It's not even just being aggressive on offense. It's also being smart on defense. He's getting fouled out in the game. Brunson, he got fouled out. We would be talking about how he got fouled out and how he can't stay out of foul trouble and how he only scored 10 points in the game. That's what we would be talking about if Brunson didn't save the day.
Yeah.
Right. So, yes, the shot was excellent, but I also have to take into consideration everything else that occurred. Like that's just how you have to watch the game. Defensively, step up on the screen. Just step up on the screen. Like, why are you in drop coverage? You need to know your personnel. Whoever, if you have what's his percentages off the dribble? What's his percentages when you go under, when he shoots the ball? I might want to step up a little bit. You got help on the backside. You got OG and you got Hart on the backside. Mm-hmm. Step up on the screen. So he started to do that again this series, and Cade was turning the ball over. He was getting balls. He was getting tip passes, deflections, and he was getting the ball, pushing it out. We went on that 21-0 run in the first game. You know, he was kind of the catalyst for that, getting multiple steals, pushing the break. We need that. We need that type of activity from him. Every game. Doesn't matter if your shot's going in. Like, I don't like players that only play defense when their shot is going in. At that size, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So it's on Cat, man. It's on Cat to really take this team to the next level. I agree, because Brunson, he's special, but when you go up against a team like the Celtics, you need more. Mm-hmm. You go up against a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, you need more production. And like I said, great series by the Knicks. The Pistons will be back for sure. And like I said, it's just great for the city right now, man. That shot is that photo, definitely going to get that as a poster very soon. Averaging 31 and 8 all he needs is another superstar player, superstar piece, whatever next to him, and he's a playoff riser. Like, you talk about guys like they do great in the regular season and then they kind of coast in the postseason. James Harden. Like right now, game 7, not stepping up. They're getting blasted by 30.
I had to turn it off. At one point, he had 7 points, I think, but I had to turn it off. It was delaying me here.
My point exactly, man. My point exactly. So averaging 31 and 8 in the playoffs when everybody knows you're getting the ball. Come on.
Yeah, because, I mean, we'll get to it, but, it's game 7. James Harden is what we expected. So, listen, we know this was a super good series for you guys. And, of course, 6 games. I think we kind of said 5 or 6 or 6 or 7. I said 7. I think you said 6 because I thought this would be a big battle. So it almost was there. You were right. I was wrong. I give you that one. So you got one on me, just one. So I changed your order a little bit here. Hopefully you're okay with it. Let's go ahead and jump into the Celtics and Magic, and then afterwards we'll go ahead and predict on those two head-to-head on the next round. Is that okay? That way we're still in the same subject there.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, number 2, Boston Celtics, who's been basically the second number 1 all season long in the East, took on Orlando Magic. Of course, it was a gentleman's sweep, if you will, 4-1 series win there. Thought this would be one of our 4-0 sweeps, but Orlando did make it at least one game on here. Of course, here's the game scoring. Of course, 103-86, 109-100. Then the Magic get one at home at 95-93, and then the Celtics figure it out on the road, 107-98. Finishes out 120-89. Of course, Tatum's the leading scorer here with the 31 points. Paulo for the Magic with 29, pretty much. Let's just call it 30 points. Of course, Tatum at that 4 spot that he kind of plays is also getting 11 boards with 5 assists, and Paulo also 8 rebounds, 4 assists. So, I mean, on average, the Celtics were scoring over 100 points while the Magic were barely breaking 90. Celtics, of course, out-rebounding and out-assisting. 2 assists is not too bad, but still, the Celtics are just phenomenal. What's your thoughts on this? Maybe start with Orlando since, they did get one win. Talk about their season because it was a great season all year for them. They're really close to being that Boston of past waiting to take over here, in my opinion, right around the corner on that.
Yes, we were just a year early on our Pistons Magic predictions, but we saw the potential, and I'm glad that both teams are living up to the expectations. The young players are healthy and they're playing at a high level. Starts with Paolo Banchero. He's the future. He's the future. Team USA. Everybody's saying, the world has caught up. I disagree with that, man. We got Banchero up next. If they ever figure it out, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum should 1,000,000% be representing Team USA, right? That shouldn't even have to be said. And then you got the Thompson twins. Yeah, it's again. You got the Thompson twins. We got the Thompson twins. They're gonna be rocking the Team USA for the next decade. Who's gonna who? I mean, they got Luka, of course. Luka. I'm sure there's gonna be some other guys down the road, but we're gonna have 2 of the best perimeter defenders in the world in the Thompson twins. So Banchero's 6'10", diamond it up. So he's incredible, and the Magic are going to continue to improve and get better. Really, the outside shooting was too inconsistent for Orlando, and then also they just don't have a great backcourt, and you need a really good backcourt because the Celtics have a great backcourt in Jrue Holiday and Derek White. So if your backcourt can't even make them work as much as they're going to make, you apply as much effort as possible on defense, it's going to be rough for you because we're not even considering Brown, Tatum, Porzingis, Horford, Pritchard. You know what I mean? So if you can't get past that, you can't get past the front line on both ends of the court from Holiday and White. That first tier before you get to the front court players, if you can't get by them just in every aspect of the game, it's over. Trade for LaMelo, in my opinion. Who? Orlando? That'd be crazy. Yeah, it'd be great for LaMelo for sure. Getting out of Charlotte,
right? But I don't know.
We need a point guard.
I don't know if I like it that much because LaMelo has to have the ball in his hands quite a bit. I won't say like Brunson, but a lot, and that's going to be taking more times for Banchero, in my opinion. But they do need that knockdown 3, I think.
Yeah, he would have to change how he plays, and you would hope if he has better players around him, he would change his game. You would hope, right? If you're a high IQ player, that usually makes the most sense. But I just feel like you drafted 3 point guards in the last 5 years: Cole Anthony, Anthony Black, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black. Right. So we still have. It looks like Cole Anthony is going to be the second unit, get the second unit igniter, 6-man Peyton Pritchard type player build, right? Which is great, right? 6 man of the year, gonna make a lot of money. You space the floor, you're a scorer at that guard spot. So Suggs and Anthony Black, you would hope Suggs and Anthony Black become the backcourt for your future. And with Franz and Banchero, and then, whether it's Batadze, Carter Jr. at the 5 spot. But they have to get their backcourt down. If they could get Black and Suggs healthy together, and they're able to distribute, play great defense, space the floor for Wagner and Banchero, they're going to be dangerous. They're going to be there because that's is very Celtic-esque. Very Celtic-esque. But that's what it takes. That backcourt has to be solidified. KCP's, he's getting up there in age, right? He's getting up there, but he's still serviceable, space the floor, but he's not going to give you the same type of production that he gave you with the Nuggets, with the Lakers, with the Pistons, when he was younger. Like, it's different. So, the players that you draft, you hope they develop into something special. So far, that's been the case for Orlando. So I would expect Black and Suggs to continue that trend for the Magic. So going up against a team that they'll continue to see for years on, and eventually they'll have to get by them if they want to get to their goal. But it's just not this year. The Celtics, they're just a powerhouse, and they're desperate for a guy who can create and go get a bucket. Their window is open and won't close soon, so they can't be patient because Paolo and Franz are ready to win now. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just don't know if it's going to be – LaMelo is interesting. Mm-hmm. That's true. They could definitely make that move, right? I could definitely see it. It's going to have to be for a dynamic guard. But I think it'd probably be a lot cheaper for them if Black and Suggs just get better. Which I think they can. I think they have gifts that they could definitely improve and collectively. Yeah.
Really, 4 or 5 years at the maximum of like the veteran in this. Black, of course, like you said, rookie Pablo or Branchero. I think he's only been here for 2 years, so he'll be 3 years next year. And then Cole is still maybe 4 years, I guess. Cole Anthony, 4 years. Actually put up on no trade clause. Just shouting out. Now this is his 4th year. Next year be 5th. KCP is his 11th year. Jonathan Isaac 7. So Isaac and KCP up there. Gary Harris with 10 years. Corey Joseph with 12. So those are just the older ones. But your core, Cole Anthony 4 years, Paulo 2, Wendell Carter Jr. even 6 years, and then the other Wagner is just 6 years. Of course, the true Wagner is 3 years. Suggs 3 years. So they're still on those rookie contracts for most of these players. So I don't think you give up too much to make that move because it's cheaper not to. Because if you go trade for LaMelo, that's going to be a second contract, so it's a lot more up there, and you're going to be getting rid of a guy that you could possibly develop. So I'm just going to say, I'm interrupting you with that, but be patient if I'm Orlando. Yes, I don't think they can be too patient, but if they can keep this class together, the core, and say, hey, listen, we're doing exactly what Boston did, and we believe in you all. You are our guys, and let's just keep going. I think they're set for that.
I agree. Again, Tatum, Spurs did with Fox. Yeah. Very possible. At the trade deadline is most likely where it'll probably happen. Or maybe the draft. We'll see. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised either way. Because I feel like they do need to make a move to take that next step, but they also need Banchero and Wagner to improve as outside shooters, just like how Brown and Tatum had to do the same thing. So it's just time. That's all. It's really about time. Mm-hmm. But for the Celtics, it's just their starting 5. It's tough to stop. Man. They go 5 out, and if you don't have enough defenders, if everybody's not lock and step, back to the baseline, helping, stunning, and recovering. That's literally what you have to do. Rotation. That's what you have to do every possession when you go up against that team. That's what makes them so difficult to stop. And Tatum getting hurt with the wrist, missing some time, coming back, still averaging 31 and 11. True power forward. True power forward patterns, double-double, easily should be averaging a double-double. It just adds more points to his average, getting offensive rebounds, going right back up. Getting offensive rebounds, kicking it out to your teammates. Now your assists are going up. So all 3 could go up just off a rebound. That's the importance of a rebound. Rebound can get you an assist, it'll get you your own points. It's so key. It's so key. And they box out, they do a lot of things well, they understand the fundamentals. The Knicks have a big challenge on Monday for sure. Big challenge. It's going to be a tough series, and if they get they're going to shoot a bunch of threes. And then even if they can't shoot a bunch of threes, Orlando did a really good job defensively. It's not like it's not like they just blew Orlando out the water every single game. These games were relatively close throughout the game. It's just the Celtics had better players, and they were able to pull away and make better plays, and because they have that experience over all these years. And then, of course, going to the finals and winning the championship last year, that's something that you just can't. You have to factor in when it's this time of season. So, similar to what I said with Detroit, the Magic is going to be one of those up and coming teams that the rest of the East is going to have to really look forward, that have to continue to worry about and be concerned with, because they're only getting better. But it's the Celtics' time right now, and they pretty much did a good job of executing and packing it up and making it a quick series.
Yeah. So then let's go ahead. We're going to go to second round for this little part of the bracket here. We'll go ahead and jump into not this one, this one. Boston Celtics against the New York Knicks in the preview with this. I think the Knicks have a chance. Don't get me wrong. But Boston, just their experience in all five, knows what's going on, where there be the spreading out. Karl-Anthony Towns is going to have a little bit of a hard time, I think, on the defensive side, which you already touched base with his defense. We knew that was an issue in Minnesota as far as his toughness with defense. But now not only are you going to be a stretch big as yourself, but you're also going to have to guard a stretch big who can put the ball on the floor as well. So I think it's going to be a big series for Karl-Anthony Towns, and I really think, I hate to say that one of the best players is going to be the X factor, but in my opinion, what we get from him is really going to set the tone for the Knicks on what they're going to do with this. But what are your thoughts on this series?
Great matchup, two of the best lineups in the world. So Josh, loving the thunder, man. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, bro. Has to start with defense for New York.
Mm-hmm.
God has to step up on the screen, brother. Just step up on that screen, trust your help, but you also get back. Don't just solely rely on the help. Get back in front of the man. You cannot have tic-tac fouls. Somebody drives and they get by you, just keep your hands up. Like, you don't have to just try to reach and go for a steal. He does that too many times. I'm like, you're a center. You should not be reaching like that. Guards reach like that. Centers are not supposed to be reaching the way he reaches. So he's tall, but he plays like a perimeter player. He has perimeter player tendency sometimes, and I feel like when he's going to the basket and going to the paint, getting to the free throw line, in addition to the floor spacing, it's no one should be able to stop him. He should be able to average 30 in the series easily. And the Celtics have really good players, but are we going to get that? Are we going to see that? That's the thing. If we don't see that, then and we don't see it on both ends of the court. If you want to be a champion, you have to bring it on both ends of the court. Mm-hmm. It's paramount. So that's the number one thing that I'm looking at, really, is the two-way ability, the aggressiveness, the consistency, not fading in games. You can't have Porzingis outplay you. Porzingis cannot outplay you in the series. You have to box out Porzingis, get offensive rebounds, really make him work. Do the dirty work, crash the glass, play like an actual center. Mitchell Robinson's going to have to do the same thing. He's going to have to be better in the series. He has to be great on the offensive glass for us. He has to create second chance opportunities for the Knicks. They're going to need that against a team like the Celtics. The more possessions for the Knicks off offensive rebounds gives them a better shot, because we know what they're able to do, fast break and in the half court set. Knicks could also excel in the fast break and in the half court set. I'm just not a fan of all of the half court sets from the Knicks. We don't cut enough. It doesn't. Sometimes I hate our possessions. It's just, and listen, Every once in a while, yes, give Brunson the right side, let him work, get to the left hand. If he's going right, step back. Yeah, of course, somebody can stop that. But it was like for the last couple possessions and in some quarters, it's just that's all the offense is. I'm just like, we got to start moving the ball. Now, when I watch them play, you could see, yes, it's Brunson has more of a chemistry with Bridges and Hart, obviously, right? Because he's always telling them to come in and set the screen to try to get the mismatch more so than he does for Cat and OG. I do notice that, which is fine. I feel like, but if the Knicks want to have success, it needs to be more Cat Brunson screen action because of the pick and pop ability, the pick and roll, and even on the short roll, I feel like Cat can make that pass to a backdoor cutter or somebody that's standing in their dunker spot. So the Knicks offense could be better. We just don't see that. And I think the Celtics, there's been a lot of talk about this lineup. This may be the last time we see this lineup being constructed based on the contracts that they have. So I don't want to call this like some type of last dance thing or whatever, but it could be. It could be. You never know. It's definitely with contracts and how people feel about certain players as we see it over there in Dallas and LA. Anything could happen in the league. But like I said, the Celtics are very dangerous, man. You have to close out on shooters. You have to be fundamentally sound against this team to win 4 times. To win 4 times, you have to be fundamentally sound, and the Knicks have to win the rebound advantage. If they're able to keep the turnovers clean, win the rebound advantage, Cat steps up on that screen, bro. You cannot go under. If you go under on Tatum and Brown, and you're in drop coverage, timeout, first possession. So there's things that the Knicks need to do. Can they win 4 times? Objectively, it's tough for me to see because of how they run their offense. I feel like the Celtics could be able to stop what they do because there's not a lot of creativity to the Knicks offense despite the talent that they have. Of course, I want the Knicks to win this series. I want them to get to the conference finals. I haven't seen the Knicks get to the conference finals since 2000. So
CJ, Josh got a question for you here real quick. I'll bring it in. How do you feel about Cam Payne's minutes in this?
Yeah, it's another criticism I have for Tom Thibodeau. It's a great question. Just the lack of the second unit production in the first round against the Pistons, I was not impressed with from Tom Thibodeau. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You have these guys play throughout the regular season, get into a rhythm, really gather and gain chemistry with the starters, with all these guys, and then they're barely getting minutes. They're barely getting minutes in the playoffs, making an impact. Yes, they have to play defense. Landry Shamet, campaign, those guys have to play defense first because Tibbs is going to automatically prioritize that off rip, which I agree with. But you play these guys in the regular season, and you telling me Shamet can't come in there and get you 8 for a game, and campaign 13 in that fourth quarter, which really helped us in game 1. You have every single playoff team, every single championship team has quality guys coming off the bench making plays, timely plays. Say the opposing team goes on a run, the second unit guy makes a big shot, makes a big steal. Happens all the time. So if you're just completely eliminating that factor as a team, just because really what it is again, it goes back to the lack of creativity in their scheme. It's this lineup right here. These are the 5 best players. This is one of the best lineups in the world. And if I have them on the court as much as possible, our chances to win are high. To me, that's when he plays those guys all those amount of minutes. That's what that tells me. That it's just, I don't trust the second unit. And yes, we have one of the best starting 5s in the league, and I'm gonna play them as much as possible. That's not like, you need to be able to get the right minutes, get guys going, players coming off the bench. You can't just not play these dudes. 7-man rotation. Deuce McBride has to play better in this series against the Celtics. He did not play well against the Pistons. His game, he has to be able to knock down that outside shot. There's a lot of times when he was open. He's gonna knock it down. I trust he's gonna be big for us in this series. I think he'll lock in, knock down those shots because they're gonna need it. Because you're doubling them, Brunson. They're gonna load up on these guys and they're gonna dare you, Payne. That's why Shamet, I feel like, needs to play a little bit because he's an actual marksman. He's a shooter. Like he could come in there just like they got Sam Hauser out there for just a couple minutes. No one's saying you got to play 30 minutes. Are you telling me for 15 minutes he can't get 8? Couple assists, a steal, like come on. So these guys are pros. I believe he could definitely do that. Like I said, because that second unit for the Celtics is going to be Peyton Pritchard. He's ready to go out the gate. As soon as he checks in, it's go time. Like he plays like a starter, bro. He plays like a starter, man. And I believe personally he will be a starter on a franchise team before his career is over.
On a franchise, did you say, or this franchise?
Yes, it could be. It could be the Celtics because, like I said, this lineup might change. I don't know with the contracts. Mm-hmm. They're saying pieces might be moved. It could be Pritchard and White. That could be the backcourt. Mm-hmm. Very possible. Why not? He may not even have to go anywhere. Fax McBride needs to be a factor offensively, but he's not there. But he's out there because he locks up. Yeah, we need him to do everything, bro. I guess the Celtics need to do everything, bro. Yeah. He needs to do everything against the Celtics, bro. Because, like I said, his matchup is Peyton Pritchard, and Peyton Pritchard is getting ready to cook him. So he's gonna have to respond and score and cut, get offensive rebounds, play like Gary Payton II. Play like Gary Payton II, and if he plays like that with the outside shooting, he's serviceable backup for us. Horford off the bench, Hauser, these guys. Cornette is a really good screener. So you can't just be lazy off that screen against someone like Cornette because now it's a 2-on-1 and it's an easy read for the Celtics if you're getting lit up on the screen. So many details. If the game is close, of course, I like our chances because we have a closer in Brunson. So I feel like we're always going to be in the game. And the last game we played against them was really good. It went into overtime. I feel like we should have won that game. We folded in the fourth quarter. There's a lot of possessions that were unlike the Knicks. And I feel like they tense up a little bit when they go up against these great teams. We know what their record is against top teams in the league in the regular season this year. And now they have an opportunity to prove us wrong. We'll see if they're able to do that.
So, what's your predictions?
I mean, listen, objectively.
Here, let me do this then. Celtics in 6 for me.
Celtics in 6 for you. Objectively, I'm gonna go Celtics in 7. I believe we put up a fight. Yeah, I believe we put up a fight. I don't believe it'll be a sweep, gentleman sweep. We need to get out the second round, man.
Ooh,
like I know it's the Celtics, but 4-1 Celtics. No, I don't see 4-1, brother. It's good. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Thanks a lot, brother. Hit that like and subscribe on the channel. Thank you.
First time in this live. We do appreciate it, man. We're usually live on Thursdays. We've been Tuesdays, but Thursdays, but just games and live, so we moved it to Saturday. But honestly, we get to actually have all these games already finished for this week at least, because we'll jump into it right now. But of course, I'm saying Celtics in 6. You're saying Celtics in 6 or 7. So I mean, we'll go ahead and jump on over because we just got this series finishing up. I don't know if you've seen it, but it is over now. And we got here the Denver Nuggets against the Clippers 3-3 series. That one just finished, and the Nuggets are moving on to the second round. So they do win the series. The Clippers are going home. James Harden never wants to play Game 7. And that's kind of basically it in a nutshell. So Josh saying like and subscribe. These guys know ball. We appreciate you, Josh, man. We miss your face, by the way. We need to get you on here sometime and just, chop it up with us one day. All right, as we look in here, of course, I'm just going to write it down, guys, because we do stream this as a podcast as well, or we record it as a podcast. So for everyone that be listening, Game 1 went to the Nuggets, 112-110. Game 2 went to the Clippers, 105-102. Game 3 went to the Clippers, 117-89. 4 went to the Nuggets, 101-99. 5 went to the Nuggets, 131 to 115, and then 6 went back to the Clippers, 111 to 105, and then the closeout game, 120 to 101. Of course, we all know Jokic averaging a triple-double no matter what he does. Could be one half, could be two halves, and he still gets a triple-double. 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists to Leonard's, of course, 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. As far as the series average, very close, 108 to 107, and that's actually in favor for the Clippers, even though they lose the series. Rebounding, of course, favor to the Nuggets, 43 to 90 or to 39. My dyslexic's happening. And this is kind of crazy. I feel like 24 and 26 assists for these two clubs is a little low, honestly, because, I mean, you've got Jokic averaging 10 and the rest of the team with just 14 for them. Of course, he does have the ball a lot in his hands. I'd say, well, I don't know his use rate, but let's see here. Let me bring in the comments before we get into it, Josh. Just subscribe, like the orange and blue jacket, Big Nick's energy. Okay, and of course, Josh saying Russ versus OKC. I will not enjoy this. With Josh, we do apologize for that. But at least he's making it to the second round. I think it's going to be wonderful for him to be back in OKC for this. I think it actually is awesome. I understand why you're not going to enjoy it, but come on, it's old Russ now, so you're good. So, what are your thoughts? We'll start with the Clippers. Let's hear what you're thinking about the Clippers here. Because, honestly, a really good season for them. Injuries, of course, with Leonard in and out. We know that. Josh Harden, who he is, really learning to be that second man. Still playing at a high level, too. We just won't talk about Game 7 yet on that. But what's your thoughts on this? I know you're turning into a fan of Zubac as well.
Yeah, the Clippers, they had a good season. They had a really good season. Kawhi obviously was able to play a little bit more and get some games in there than what we're accustomed to seeing. Playing a full series. It's just tough. I mean, it's 3-3. I don't know. I don't know what's so hard in these games, man. I really don't understand it. It's crazy. I mean, it's like he gets offended when you bring it up. It's like, bro, we watch your whole career. We watch your whole career, and I'm not saying it's not all his fault, but he wasn't playing necessarily well for a few games, and that's when they were losing. And I just say he cannot be your second best player on a championship team. It's just what it is. He's a legend, Hall of Famer, all those. I mean, we all know that stuff, but in the playoffs, it's just someone that you just can't. He cannot be the second guy. So that's why I said Zubac. I said Zubac had to be the second best player in the series if they want to win.
Harden finished with 7 points for the game. That's it. That's crazy.
Just fades. He just fades, man. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Just fades when in elimination games. I've never seen it. I've never seen anybody with this level of talent offensively. One of the greatest scorers I've ever seen. Just not show up in elimination games, closeout games in the playoffs. I've never seen anything like it. Seriously, like we look at the great scorers. We usually expect them. They usually step up in the playoffs, and have great games, closeout games. Even if they lose, it's memorable, right? Like Jordan, Kobe, KD, Melo, all these great scorers. Mm-hmm. It's for Hardman. It's just I don't know what it is. That's something that he has to explain. But ultimately, for the Clippers, they have a really good team. There were some positives. Kawhi, you would hope he could start the season and have a healthier season, so maybe they can have either the 5th seed, but you want to have a better seeding. You want to have the Game 7 into it, dome. Not in Denver. I'm pretty sure that would change some things, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it was high expectations for the Clippers. Both LA teams got packed up. Clippers were more competitive. Mm-hmm. And Denver, it's just tough to stop the 24-point triple-double in the first round. I mean, what do you – and now the Clippers did solid job. Zubac did solid. He did a solid job. There were times where they didn't even need any help. And when you don't need help, I mean, that's great. because now you don't have to. It's not 2-on-1, and he's a great passer. So if you're leaving somebody open, he's going to see that earlier than anybody else in the world. So if you're just so if you're just able to play sound defense, man defense, help, talk, communicate, get back, that's going to give you a chance against a team like the Nuggets. That type of defense was not there for the Clippers in Game 7.
Yeah.
It just was not there from the jump. They have real home court advantage over there in Denver. I think it's called Ball Arena. Could be wrong, but they're stacked, man. They're stacked. When MPJ is locked in, he's been their X factor forever. When he's all the way there on both ends of the court, passing, being active, cutting, it's just moments where, again, with him, he'll just rather be a stretch. He'd rather just be a stretch three and just be content with just standing at the 3-point line for the whole game. I'm like, you have so many more gifts. So he's really that player that can really take them to a different level. But we just don't see that enough from him. And when we see it, we see what that offense could be. Murray is a playoff riser. He just did most 40-point games for a Denver Nugget in franchise history.
That's crazy.
You just think about Melo and Jokic, So he's a playoff riser. His career is so unique. Never made an All-Star team, but he plays like an All-Star. It's crazy when the playoffs come around. So, and then of course for Westbrook, getting the revenge.
Gosh.
PJ, that's nice. Thunder in 4. Sheesh. For Westbrook to get that get back, being on the Clippers last year, I think he felt like he was going to get an extension from them.
Mm-hmm.
He felt otherwise. Goes to the Nuggets. Been a little up and down. Had some really good moments to start when Murray was out. Stepped up, played well, efficient basketball. Had some low points here and there, but I think in this series, for the most part, he played well. He's able to, if he's knocking down 2 threes with everything else,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You could just knock down 2 threes and do everything else. I mean, you're gonna get great production from Westbrook all the time, because he still wants to slash and get to the paint at that age. So we got someone like Jokic who creates those easy lanes for him because he brings that center out the paint. It's a match made in heaven, man. I really hope this is his last stop. I think that'd be fantastic for him and for the Nuggets. We'll see. But yeah, great series for him. And this was a competitive series. I think we both had this series going 7. It lived up to the hype. It was probably one of the series that definitely lived up to the billing based on the talent that both teams have. And Denver advances, and I'm excited for that matchup against Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes, sir. Of course, I'm going to go back to this comment. I didn't bring it in because it's kind of off this topic or off subject at the moment, but is Harden on the bad side of the hill at this point? I think it's a great question. In my opinion, I want to say I think he's at the peak of that mountain. We'll say that because we do see some stuff kind of fading a little bit, but it's also because he's not the number one on the team. Of course, he's got Kawhi, and so that's going to be the main. Of course, when he's out, then he does his thing. But I think some age is showing here. I'm not going to say a lot. I don't want to sound like I'm too aggressive with that. I think it is a factor, especially with these Game 7s, like we even seen today, only 7 points in it. But it's also what he's done his whole career. Even Popovich had said multiple times when he was at Houston, we let him do everything that he wants to do. By the time 7th game gets around, he's too tired. So I do think that's showing now. But I think he still has it. Still think he's probably better at number 3. I've never been a James Harden fan. He's a ball hog to me. So I feel like he's starting to realize what he can do to make his career last a little bit longer with this. I mean, he can't be the ball dominant guy anymore. He's got to be that facilitator. I mean, he had 13 assists tonight. So, I mean, at least he's doing something with that. So I think he's close. I think he's at the peak of the mountain and he's looking over the cliff to see where it's going for him. So I think this next season will definitely prove if it's playing a factor into it now.
Yeah, he's not averaging the 30 like he used to. And now it's 21 and 10. The assists are going up, but the points per game have gone down.
Right.
The IQ is still there when it needs to be, but not 7, bro. Man, you know what I mean? Like, no one's saying get 40, but you go out there, you telling me you can't at least get your average in the regular season at minimum. So,
I mean, 7 points is someone off the bench hitting 2 threes,
and making
with an extra,
making a transition take free throw like that. That's all it is. It's just, is he washed? I mean, I wouldn't go that far. It's just, I mean, this is what we've seen him do throughout his entire career, and it just not step up when it matters in the playoffs. It's just tough. It's just one of those unfortunate things. It's not something I'm rooting for. It's just something that's an observation at this point. I mean, it's just wow. Like every single season, I want him to break the narrative, but it just hasn't been happening. So, again, they just need to find someone else. They need another piece next to Kawhi. If Zubats doesn't take that next, that's exactly. If it's the facts. If Zubats doesn't take that next step in terms of like being like almost all NBA all-star guy, then they need another piece. They need another piece because Harden cannot be that. Cannot be your second guy as a championship team. Can't happen.
We had this debate last week, I think, or we touched on it a little bit. And of course, now it looks like, we're a little bit closer to that. Just for our audience here, we've talked about who would win a title first or get that ring first between Westbrook and Harden. And I think I said Westbrook. I think you agreed with me because Harden, well, at least for the Clippers, they have to figure something out. Of course, now it looks like we are right. If it were to play out, the Nuggets win, obviously we're right. But, I don't think he's washed, but I do think it's starting to show something. Like it's not completely washed. He just got to reevaluate on how to stay relevant still. And he's got a shot. So, I mean, that's the difference between him and Westbrook. Westbrook, was only a slasher, just a all-out hustle, slashing, dunking on someone. Harden's got the three-point shot. He's got the pass. He's got the pick and roll. He's got other weapons for that game to not make it wash right now, in my opinion.
He's got the three-point shot when he has the basketball. He's not a great off the ball player.
Right.
Yeah, he's not a great off the ball player. Russ is not a great off ball shooter, but he's a great off ball player. And I feel like again he went to the first spot. Harden went to a good spot too. I mean, they needed a guard, needed a lead guard. He could be the lead guard. I'm not saying he's not a starter or anything like that, but he just cannot. He could be a third. I believe he could be a third option. If he's getting if he's getting 15 and 13 in the playoffs as a third option, and then Kawhi and someone else is getting 25 and 25, and Zubats does what he does, you got a shot. But they need one more piece.
Of course, he's saying he should take a page out of D Rose and become a super role player.
I don't know if he's there yet. Like I say, I've seen he still plays at a still at a really high level. I don't think he's at the Derrick Rose level yet. I don't think it's really about that. It's not about that. It's just about what the Clippers need.
Harden for Lillard feels like a weird trade, but could happen this offseason.
Nah, I don't think anybody's touching Lillard, bro, because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think they're gonna do any trades like that, bro.
Especially, I don't think anybody's going to be trading for Harden to try to still be, winning a ring too.
No, I think he stays with the Clippers. Ballmer got the bread, so that's not a question. Ballmer has the money, so we don't got to worry about that. And he wants to stay in LA. I think he finishes his career with the Clippers. I think so. I don't think he goes anywhere else. It's a good spot for him. Exactly. Yes. 1,000,000%.
Two dumb offices making dumb trades together. Josh, you coming with it tonight?
I think the dumb ones are humble right now after what we saw in February, bro.
All right,
or maybe not. We'll get into that later.
So let's jump to another series first round. We'll kind of stick with what we did the first time. We'll go ahead and jump to this one since the series winners will be playing each other. Of course, I'm talking about the Oklahoma Thunder sweeping Memphis Grizzlies. Man, 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I guess it seemed like 2 weeks ago. you and I believe we got done with the show last week. Maybe that's what it was. And Memphis first game at home, we're up by like 21 points, I think it was. 29. We were texting 29. We were texting back and forth after our show about the game because we were trying to get on 2K and you were watching another game, I think. And I was like, dude, they cut it to 10. Actually, I think first it was like, hey, it's down to 12. Then it was like, it's under 10. Oh my goodness, they have the lead. And then we both instantly said, yeah, this is it's done for Memphis. And of course, they do end up getting swept. Of course, that game we're talking about, 114 to 108 was that game that I was referring to. And then the next game, they lose by one basket, 2 points, 117 to 115. So when you got SGA 27, or basically 28, 5 and 6 against Scottie Pippen Jr., who is the lead for that team, 18, 5 and 3. It's a little different. I didn't think Scottie Pippen would be the leading scorer for the Grizzlies series. He had a great series, though, of course. But I think Memphis. Man, I don't want to say it because I like Memphis. I like Bane and even Ja, of course. With what's the big guy's name?
Jackson Jr.
No, the other one.
Oh, is that Edie?
Edie. I was trying to say Giddy, and I knew that wasn't it. I like that lineup and the way that they look too. You know, it's just it's a perfect match. It's basically Sam Adams all over again with the younger Jackson. Wonderful defense. Bane, even good defense. So I like this lineup. But after this loss, I think there's got to be some kind of trades or moves, don't you?
Yeah, I agree. I think I heard John say in the exit interview, if he were to stay healthy, he started to figure them out. It's fair for him to say, right? They were up. I mean, they were up 29 before he got hurt.
That is true.
Yeah, and looking at the film that led to that lead, and that's one game, so it doesn't necessarily mean that they were going to win the series. I definitely did not pick the Grizzlies to win the series.
No. I didn't think they'd get swept.
But I'd never seen OKC get outplayed like that in a while. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a while since I've seen them get outplayed on all levels that way. So it was interesting from what they were able to do. But the health of John Moran, I mean, that's the real story. That's the real thing, right? Not unable to finish a playoff series. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So
I'm gonna bring in this question real quick, or comment. Memphis going to be moving on from Ja. He thinks that experiment is over.
It's possible. It's possible.
And there's been a lot of rumors about that too, coming into this season that it might be over. But I feel like Memphis has all their eggs in one basket with this, and Ja is the main piece on this team. I mean, that's why you went out and got Edie, because he's a pick and roll guy. You know, I don't see Bane or somebody stepping into that pick and roll heavy with that, being that slasher that Ja is. So, I mean, if you're trading Ja, but what are you going to be getting for him? I mean, you're not going to get another superstar to just jump right into there. So it's got to be picks, and you're looking to build with other picks in this draft. I mean, if you can't get too high up in there, I'd say top 5, honestly, in this draft. I don't think it's much going to come out of it.
Well, if you're trading Ja, I definitely need another star in return. Can't just be picks, and it can't just be a starter and pick. Got to be a all-star at least. Let's not get carried like for these teams that do want to try to make these deals. Let's not get carried away. I know, the Luka trade was what it was. That's one trade,
right?
Gobert, that's one trade, right? And that actually is a great trade. Yeah. It's a great trade. It ended up being a really good trade. Memphis, they don't have enough. They don't have enough. We've seen this. We've seen the Ja, Bane, Jackson Jr. trio, say for the last 3 years. 3 years. That's still not a large enough sample size for me. And they've been top of the West for most of those years. Ja was hurt last year, so that was really why they were unable to have the success that they had.
And suspended.
Yeah, exactly. Suspension and injuries. Mm-hmm. So that's why they didn't have the success last year. This year, Taylor Jenkins gets fired. They kind of dipped a little bit. They changed the way they played. They just extended their head coach. I don't want to mispronounce his last name, but I know his first name is Tom. So they gave him the extension. He was the interim head coach. That's great. So he can develop his way, his identity there. Edey's gonna have to be the X factor for me. He's gonna if he could be that scoring big that could get them like 20, 23 a night. Because Jackson Jr., like, to me, I don't think he wants to be that. I don't know if he wants to really be that guy. Because
I think he just wants to be defense, and that's it.
Yeah, defense, shooting. I don't think he wants to be the guy. You know, the ball in my hands, we could take over the game. Let me take over the game. When Ja's not having a great game or Ja misses a game, can I get 30? Can I get 35? Can I get 30, 12, and 7? He definitely has the talent to get 30, 12, and 7 in the game.
Oof.
No question. But you have to really want that, So we haven't really seen it yet. We've seen spurts, and we've seen it when he has a DPOY. He's a very talented player, but I don't know if he wants to be like the top 2 players on the team. As a piece on a championship team, incredible. So the question now becomes like, what are they going to need? And again, I feel like they need. I look at them. I can see them trying to get KD. Everybody's talking about the Rockets. I can see why do the Rockets need to get KD? The second seed. Like, why do they need to go get KD? I think the Grizzlies should definitely be trying to inquire about Kevin Durant. You match up Kevin Durant with Ja, probably gonna have to give up someone like Bane or something like that. Because of course Phoenix was gonna ask for something back, even though Durant is an older player. But ultimately, again, I just think that they just don't have enough. And in these games, they were close. Like even in Game 4, they were playing well. Then they lost the lead. It's just their inability to close, Ja's injuries, Jackson Jr. just not being that player. Like it's a lot that unfolds, man. One of the things I did like was Scottie Pippen Jr. is going to get paid. He's going to get paid. I was a fan of his in college, high school, at Vanderbilt. Two-way player. I think he could definitely be a starter in this league. You look at teams like Phoenix. I mean, I don't know what Orlando's going to do, but you can see a team like Orlando. So some of these other teams out here that definitely need a lead guard. He could come in there on a reasonable contract and make an impact. He played really well in this series. I think he propelled himself to potentially get a bag and a starting job. So I wish him the best. We'll see what happens there, but OKC is just too dominant, man. OKC is just they're just a powerhouse. What they're able to do. SGA picked it up in Game 3 and 4, but the first 2 games were really just the depth of Oklahoma City. You just really saw like the team, the full roster that they have, and how all of them contribute at a high level. That's what made them so dangerous in the NBA this year, and for the last few years. Chet being healthy is just paramount, man. It's just big time. Chet, the Chet Hartenstein duo. Teams getting back to traditional lineups. Everybody said the big man is dead, the center is dead, and now we're seeing these traditional lineup power forward centers now. Oh wow, right? Oh wow. These people don't understand the game. They don't understand that they run these teams. They don't understand the game, bro. The center position is dead. Okay, look at the teams left and look at the lineups that they have. You tell me if the big front court positionless basketball is all the NBA needs. Come on, stop it, man.
Let's see here. Got some more comments coming in. The league is good.
Yeah, that's the core 3 for Oklahoma City, and they have arrived. I think arriving is getting to the conference. I think arriving is getting to the finals. We see them, but arriving is getting to the finals. Just like how Brown and Tatum got to the finals.
I agree with that.
They lost, but they got there. Because you're winning 67 games in the regular season. I mean, we should only be expecting for you to go one place. That's the NBA Finals. So,
because I mean, even the Jazz that was first place, what, a few 3 or 4? Well, I guess it's probably 4 or 5 seasons ago. But they still was nothing. Like, you know, what they had together with Spada and Gobert was like, okay, this is a number 1 team. Let's see what they can do in the playoffs since first round exit. So, I mean, they never showed up. They just were playing, you know, YMCA basketball through the season. And then when it comes tournament, it's cooked.
Yeah, this team is definitely different. But yes, we agree on that. Yeah, much different. So,
no, I'm just saying,
my expectations are much higher.
The finals, like if they don't go to the finals, it's the same. So I'm agreeing with you on that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, all right, man, so team stacked, bro. Like it's just, and they still have much more. They have more picks and assets for years to come for them to make more moves. They're gonna be dangerous. So yeah, let's get into the series for Denver and Oklahoma City.
I'm excited for this, dude. Like this, we get to see how Chet. Well, do you think Chet will be on Jokic? I don't think he will.
Hartenstein. Yeah,
Hartenstein will be on it.
I mean, multiple players.
Right, of course. You have to. I mean, if he's down there. But so we'll see. Well, who do you think is going to be the X factor in this? Well, actually, what do you think of this series? Let me just back up. We're getting too much in depth in this. So what do you think here?
Exciting matchup, two different styles. I think it played out perfectly. Everybody's been talking about who should have been the MVP. Well, let's see. You know,
good point.
See. MVP usually gets announced around this time in the second round, I believe. So this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I feel like it matched up perfectly. So we can really see now. There's been a lot of talk. People have SGA has his supporters. Jokic has his supporters. I'm a supporter of both players. So that's I'm not. There's no point in picking a side. They're both excellent. So
yeah. This is off topic. Do you think it's going to be a split? Do you think it's going to be a dual MVP?
No.
Okay.
I do believe this series goes 7 games. I do believe this will be a 7-game series. That's the PC thing to say. Nah, I picked SGA to win MVP, but I'm not like hating on one player just to make a point. That's kind of what I mean, bro.
Yeah. He's a fan.
So no split. Yeah, no split.
Yeah.
But I think this is a 7-game series.
Whew.
Jokic is going to give Hartenstein and we should never be doing Kobe.
I agree.
Not 100%. MVP. Never. Maybe rookie of the year, but MVP, nah.
6 man, okay, but no. The most valuable. You got to pick one. You can't have 2 most valuables.
Yes, I agree. I believe that Jokic is he's really going to give OKC a lot of problems because of how they play. The X factor for the Nuggets is Michael Porter Jr. I mean,
yes,
it's 6'10" with his ability to shoot the ball and potentially slash and get to the basket, get to the free throw line, which he doesn't do enough of at that size, which is very disappointing.
I do think this could be a factor, a little bit of rust, but I do think they're young and they're pros, so I don't want to buy into it too much. But I mean, OKC's been off for a minute, man. So
yeah, I don't really think rust will play a factor into it. This team is really well. They're a machine, man. What they've been able to do, I don't think something like that will affect them. More than anything, I think it's going to help them because you need time. You needed time to game plan against either one of these teams that was going to be the victor tonight. So now that you really know now, I just think it makes the most sense for them to really have the time to lock in when they go up against Denver. So yeah, what's your thoughts a little bit?
I actually And of course, this is what I said that the Clippers should do. So I'm definitely still onto this until I see someone actually try it and see how it goes. Jokic is going to get a triple-double no matter what. I mean, you can't stop that. But I would like to try to minimize his assists, because if you keep those assists under 10, you're not allowing as many threes to be made by this team. Because, I mean, he does find the dunker spot quite a bit, just the weak side help, whatever, a little dump down when they double team. But a lot of those assists are going to the kick out on the rotations, and he's finding that guy. If you can minimize the three-point mades by the other guys, I think that actually is beneficial. When you have Chet and Hartenstein both down there, like, okay, let's just try to keep it contained here. If he goes weak side, okay, let's just go on one-on-one. If he comes to the middle, let's rotate where Chet can come over to help, and let's have our weak guy at the three-point line rotating down to just try to cause chaos to where something happens, maybe a turnover on that pass. But I want to see, and OKC to me has bought in defense the whole year. Even Casey Wallace, who I've got to say something about just because he's from Kentucky, SGA, you're getting some of these minutes from these guys who just want to play defense and hustle. So OKC, I feel like, has bought into it, and that's who their identity is. It's not just, any all-stars out here. It's SGA gets what he can do, while the rest of us, we're just going to play the defense and take what you give us. Now, of course, obviously there's some great players, and I'm not just saying there's nobody on offense that can't do anything. It's just, to me, they're more mindful of defense and stop you, and we're going to take the easy way. We see the mismatch, and that's what we're just going to attack. So I like this matchup because, like you said, Michael Porter Jr., who I think is phenomenal, but he's lazy, and he wants to stay at that three-point line. And as soon as he gets it, if he don't dribble it, he's pulling up a three. Like, if he puts the ball down, it's either two dribbles and he's going all the way in, or a one dribble pull-up three. And I feel like that's just kind of common with him. So rotate out, challenge the shot, make him put it on the floor, and let's see if he actually drives it to the lane and see what he does down low with your bigs there. So to me, I hate to say this, but I'm going to make Michael Porter Jr. beat me. If anything, I'm going to make Jokic score as many points as he can, not try to get any assists. I want to contain Aaron Gordon as well, because I think he's a huge X factor that gets overlooked with what he can do. Physicality, running point, some on plays, has an outside shot, and still can come down and bang with the bigs down there. So my thing is Porter Jr., you said it's X factor, but I'm going to actually tempt him as much as I can. Like, hey, we're going to rotate and challenge your shot, but we want to see you actually drive. Because if you don't and you get complacent with just catch and shoot, I think we're fine, actually, on defense. That's what I want to see. Now, as far as OKC on offense, I want to see Hartenstein coming out, making a bunch of picks and fades even. Not so much that he's going to be shooting the ball, but just keep Jokic out of the middle, make him guard a lot, move around on defense. A lot of pick and rolls and get away. I want to see Michael Porter Jr. play defense. That's another thing. Like, I mean, I feel when he's in his comfort zone of what he doesn't have to do a lot of, he's good. But if you make him have to make some mental choices on switching what we're going to do here, try to play a little defense, I think that could burn him just a tad bit as well. So I'm going to say Michael Porter Jr. is the whole purpose of what happens in this offensive defense for them for the turnout. Let me bring in this real quick. Love the case and shout out. Gotcha.
Case and Wallace.
So what do you think?
I got OKC in 7, man, because I do think that, again, Denver gives them a lot of problems to where I think it will be a back and forth matchup. But I like the depth that Oklahoma City has.
Yeah.
Wallace, Caruso, Wiggins, Williams, Lou Dort, J-Dub. They have so many different players. Hardenstein is going to have to score. He's going to have to get offensive rebounds, do the dirty work, really make Jokic work, man. He's going to have to box him out, get physical, maybe get him a little bit frustrated, and maybe have him think about something else other than reacting to the double teams and things of that nature. Because if he gets in foul trouble, it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough because now you're probably putting Jalen Williams, like the forward Jalen Williams in there. He kind of plays that small ball 5 for them. He's guarding I mean, that's barbecue. Yeah, that's barbecue chicken. Pretty and downfall. Nah, man, it's just Denver's tough. Like Hartenstein gets in foul trouble. What are they going to do? We got to put on Jokic. Chet doesn't have the size. It's just
Caruso. Putting Caruso on him.
Caruso will guard him. Yeah, I mean, he'll use his quickness and his strength to definitely make it tough, try to front him, trust his help on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
Lou Dort, like they're gonna need Wiggins,
yes.
they're gonna need a couple forwards, and they're gonna have to put a couple forwards like that on him, and have Chet has to be a weak side guy. He cannot play Jokic straight up.
I mean, he's would it be out of the question if Jokic is bringing the ball up to put a guard on him to try to make him uncomfortable with that? I mean, I know he's got handles, even though it looks ridiculous, but like you got Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. that you could actually put bigs on because one's stationary and the other one is a slasher who can shoot. And I think Ahart and Chet are pretty mobile bigs that they could go out there for the time being. But what if Caruso just said, "Oh, I got him. Switch with me. Where this is what we're doing. I'm picking him up, trying to cause chaos with him full court to get rid of it, and then keep him up there." Is that?
Well, Jokic brings it up full court like sometimes. Usually it's Murray and
right.
Usually the guards do it because of what you said. Because that would cause a lot of turnovers. They like to once they get to the half court.
Switch.
Yeah, it was right to 15, like automatic.
Right.
So, so if he was doing that and like playing like a guard in that sense, like he does bring the ball up at times. Right. If he was doing that much more often, I would see Dort, Caruso, Wallace, trying to make it tough, trying to get to the spot, get some steals.
I'm loving Josh tonight.
Get the ball. Wiggins, Williams, Dort, Caruso, Holmgren at times too, man. Be a dog, bro. I mean, you out there, you're gonna have to guard him eventually. You're not Jokic's not going nowhere, bro. So you got to guard him eventually. Why not in a couple of days? Hartenstein, it's going to be a tough task.
Yeah,
got to stay out of foul. Hartenstein can stay out of foul trouble. It's definitely going to help them for sure.
Here's a good point. Hart got cooked by Embiid last year, so Chet's going to have to be on the help side. We'll also open up a kick out from Jokic as soon as that happens.
Yeah, kick out or allow to Gordon, right? Gordon lives in that dunker spot. It's money. Yeah. The deflections, everything is going to have to be there for them. They just do what they do. Fundamentally sound defense. SGA might have to guard them a couple and on some switches because the way teams switch nowadays, everybody's going to be guarding each other. And on the flip side, OKC, they're going to try to run ball screens and try to get Jokic out there in space with their guards, and SGA is definitely going to try to dance on him. We're going to see that multiple times. It's just a matter of the shooting for both teams, right? That outside shooting. Who's going to be able to knock down consistent shots for their superstars? And I just think the way OKC has played all year, the home court advantage, I think will help them in a Game 7 type matchup type style. I do believe it'll go back and forth because Denver's home court is real also. So it's not something where they're just going to lay down in front of their fans. That's something they just do not do. Very rare. But ultimately, I think this is the time for SGA to really cement himself, just similar to how Anthony Edwards just did in his first round against Luka and LeBron. And Anthony Edwards did last year against Kevin Durant and Jokic last year. So SGA now has an opportunity, something he was unsuccessful in doing the previous year against Luka. Now going up against Jokic, pack Jokic up in the second round, and root you get into a finals. People will have different discussions about your league, as they should already have different discussions because he's one of the best players in the league. So this series is perfect. It's matched up perfectly for him to debunk anything that anybody has to say. And then if you can still continue to have things to say, and you're just a hater, it's in your blood. Like you got to figure it out. So it's a great series, but I'm going with Oklahoma City in 7.
I'm going with OKC in 6.
OKC in 6, okay. And last thing too, Westbrook going up against his old team. I think it's beautiful. If they upset OKC, how does that? And he's a factor in that. And he's making winning plays for the Nuggets in Oklahoma City. Woo, that's crazy. So this series is great, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, appreciate you in here, Josh. He just stayed for the OKC talk. That's the only reason why he was in here. Once we get done with it, he's out. But no, Josh, appreciate it. Let me go up here to this comment because couldn't really discuss it where we was talking about everything, but he wanted us to discuss the MVP. Should MVP go to the guy that is literally the most valuable player to the team? Meaning, without Jokic, Denver would be in the slumps. SGA not playing for OKC. OK is still a monster team that has won.
Won what? Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's a close race. It's a very close race. It's one of the closest races in a very long time. I think it's great. I just think, again, SGA, just look at the records, 30-point games, and he's the best player on the best team in the league. And if you take both superstars off the teams aren't going to be good.
Right.
Yeah, so they're talented, but those superstars take them to another level. So I think that goes both. That works. That point works for both players. Mm-hmm. It's just a very close race. It doesn't mean you need to hate on the next. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but just generalities doesn't mean you have to hate on a player just to make a point. I just think that SGA has continued to improve every single year. Had a fantastic season, and I think he's going to win the MVP this year. I think he's going to win the MVP, and he has an opportunity to show why he's the MVP in the regular season and in the postseason. And this is right. It's perfect for him, bro. This is perfect. This is perfect for him to kill the narratives.
And I'm even going to go a step further with this. I'm going to say I kind of disagree here because I think if Jokic is not on the team, I still think Denver's a good team. They just have a different identity. Jamal Murray is going to be an all-star. I mean, he has that caliber, but because he has Jokic, he doesn't do all of what he can do. And then I even think Aaron Gordon would be stepping up to be some more playing time, being a factor on the offense, and even Michael Porter Jr. I think you could have all three of those. That's still a good 3 team in there. So I don't know if I could say the same about OKC. I mean, Caruso's a good off-the-bench player. Definitely defensive. Chet's coming. I mean, we still, in my opinion, we haven't seen the peak of Chet. I mean, he's still young, and he, of course, is one season from being hurt. So, I mean, he's still proving who he is. But without SGA, I mean, do you have a duo on this team that you could say, I trust in them?
Yeah, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. What happened?
I mean,
we can't say they have depth, and then say if you remove SGA from the team, they'll be trash. We can't.
I'm not saying trash, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like the Nuggets are a play-in or a playoff team without Jokic, but I think OKC might
be a playoff team without Jokic.
I think. Well, I mean, again, we don't know what they would really be doing, but it'd be a different identity. I think Jamal Murray being the number one, and then Michael Porter Jr. Maybe we see it completely different. Maybe he wouldn't be as lazy as I think he really is. So, catch and shoot. That's all I do. Because he has talent, but that back issue from when he was in college to still now, maybe that's why he's limited on what he does on offense. I don't know, but again, that's my opinion. But I just feel like OKC has the role player depth. But I don't know if anyone would step up to be like the big 3 for them. I mean, I know I said duo first, but again, Chet, I feel like is still proving himself. He's good, but we'd have to see. I'm not saying that they're not there. I just would need to see more out of them to think that they can do it. So yeah,
that's fair, man.
Okay, thank you.
It's fair,
back off, man. Okay,
yeah.
But
I see what you're saying, bro.
SGA is my MVP. No, I'm not biased because he played at Kentucky at all, but it's hands down SGA. It's definitely not hands down, guys. Leave me alone. All right, so let's see here. What other series do we have completed? Do we go into the Cavs and Pacers games that they had?
Let's do it.
Let's see here. I feel like the Cavs have been like at home so long that we don't even really have to talk too much about the first round with them. Maybe because it's against Miami in a sweep, but
yeah, you don't want to talk about that, man.
The Cavs proved why they're the number one.
Yes, they did.
Appreciate
team is dangerous.
They really are, and I'm so glad.
The team is dangerous. Kenny Atkinson is really taking the Cleveland Cavaliers to a different level.
Yeah,
this is his ability, his schemes. being able to get great spacing with the front court that's not necessarily have great shooters. They cut very well. They set great off-ball screens. He's really on. What?
And they didn't add anyone really. Like
Exactly.
He took what he had and improved it.
Exactly. He unlocked the roster, and of course they got better too. So when both of those things combine, you get what we're seeing right now from the Cleveland Cavaliers. No question. Miami, it's different class, different level, different level. Donovan Mitchell going into the second round, I think it's set up perfectly for him to get to the conference finals, and he's probably the most underrated superstar in the league. He doesn't get a lot of the praise like we see with some of these other players. Really wasn't in the MVP discussion at all.
Should have been,
even though he's the best player on one of the best teams in the league, top 2 team in the league. Great pickup. I think this roster is very dangerous. X factor for the Cavs is Garland.
Yeah. His
efficiency and his defense. If he can be efficient, play really solid defense, knowing the 2 elite front court players that they have on the back end, just being solid at the point of attack, just not being lazy and doing the right things, like I said, just being efficient with the basketball, shooting the ball well, because he's a good playmaker too. I think his playmaking is also something that's underrated, not underrated, but something he can continue to improve on. And I think with this roster that they have, he's doing nothing but dimes. So just take smart shots, play good defense. If need be, he can definitely go on spurts where he's going off. He's having 20-point, 25-point games, 30-point games. But they play like a real team, constructed team. Mm-hmm. And it's tough for them. It's tough to stop them. That's why they're able to put up average 126 points in the series. Very difficult. And when you can't solely focus on one player, and you're worried about everybody else, just like the Celtics, OKC, like these other great teams in the league, it makes the defense. It makes it so difficult for defenses. You can't double anybody. You have to account for so many other factors, and you have great players that are willing to play off the ball and cut like that. That's that's it right there. Because these guys, they get to the league, they have the basketball in their hands the whole en route to them getting to the NBA. They had the basketball in their hands. So now when they get to the league, the head coach is telling you, hey, I need you to cut right here. Like, you may not get the ball, but I need you to cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you're selfless like that and you understand the roster that you have, your brothers and the team that they constructed, everybody's all bought in to what Kenny Atkinson is preaching and his new identity in Cleveland. And it's been incredible to watch what they've done this year, adding another piece of history to the Cavaliers, not attached to LeBron and Kyrie. I think is incredible. Kobe Altman has done a great job. Done a great job constructing this roster. And here we go. Here we go. The second round, going up against the Pacers. I expect them to dominate in that. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy, but I expect them to play well and win in that series. Miami they're just not there yet, man. They need some time. It was a good run. It was 4 years, going to the finals twice. Just gotta answer some more questions. Hero can't be your number one.
No.
And Bam can't be your number two. So they just need another piece. Or they develop into that. I don't want to say they can't be anything right now because they're still very young. But right now, that's not where they're at. So hopefully if they develop into that, that's the perfect for Miami. Because you're already paying them, and then guys can just pull up. Because cool, These two solidified. Just pull up, weather, everything. But when you don't have that, then everybody can talk about Pat Riley and this and that, talk about all these other stories. So, Miami, this is a big all season for the Heat, and I'm going to be very intrigued in what they do. Do they make a move? Their coach is too good. Their coach is too good to just be coaching mediocrity in his coaching prime. Just you can't do it.
All right, so we got some more questions we're bringing here. Garland was out. What was he out for? Hurt or just resting? I mean, it's against Miami. Who really cares?
Yeah, I think it was the ankle. He missed some games, but no need to rush him back in this series.
Right. Spada had to take a step back from scoring and trust his team, and now look at the number one in the East. Kenny A got goated.
Yeah, Kenny Atkinson is goated. Yeah.
And Miami is Madison Square Garden of the South.
South, yeah. Knicks always show up to the Heat games. They always showing up to the Heat games, man. In Miami, you hear that "Let's go Knicks" chant. They definitely think we're in the Garden. They're in Charlotte. Charlotte is definitely MSG South too.
Anyway, you all can go to the beach. You're at those games. I got you.
Yeah.
So my thoughts, Miami is exactly what you said. This offseason, they have to make it a big acquire. I think it'd be great if it was KD to, kind of like, it's the KD LeBron whole thing. So now KD comes to Miami to be that savior like LeBron was once. But that's just fun stories for me. And then, of course, Cleveland, man, this is your year. Like, keep doing what you're doing, and let's see you against Celtics. We can't wait for that Eastern Conference Finals. Let's just be honest. But
KD's not a savior, though.
I don't think so either. But I'm just saying, that's that storyline. But let's see here. Before we get going into the Eastern Finals, we do have a matchup here first, and here we go. The Pacers 4-1 over the Bucks. I thought this would actually be a more fun series. I was let down by this. Of course, we did get Dame. KD don't even want to be that guy. I agree, he doesn't, and that's so pitiful. But let's see here. Of course, the Bucks lose the first game, 117-98. Pacers pick up the second one, of course, 123 over 115. The Bucks do win their first game at home, 117 over 101, and then Pacers go 129 over 103, and then close out 119 over 118. Giannis 33, 15, and 6, and only wins one game. That's tough. Halliburton, of course, 17, 6, and 11, which is great to see those assists being the double digits there, double-double, basically what he averaged. 6 rebounds from him, still also pretty impressive too. I mean, he is a big guard, but, man, it's been going on for, 2 years? The Pacers just flat out have the Bucks numbers. That's all you can say.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's going on. We should have known this and went with the Pacers. I said the Bucks because I felt like they're the dark horse. Of course, Dame did have some rust. Of course, he hadn't played, I think, in about a month or so with blood clots, and now was okay. And, of course, now he has the Achilles injury, I think it was. So, I mean, prayers up here. We talked about that earlier. Bucks, there's rumors already that Giannis and the Lakers, I don't know how true that is. I think that's just social media. I don't want to jump in too much on it.
Yeah.
But
Giannis and the Lakers.
I do think the Bucks changed some stuff. I'm not saying Giannis and Dame, but I do think they got to spice something up. And it could be that Giannis wants out now. I mean, he's been hungry for a while. They did get one, but then they haven't been anywhere close since then. Coach has been fired. Doc came in. 2 coaches been fired? Now we got Doc since they won that championship. I mean, does Doc get fired here?
Does he get a pass? Lillard. Yeah, Lillard going down with the Achilles. I mean, I think he'll get a pass. He'll get a pass, but listen, wow. Pacers, yeah, they definitely match up incredibly well with the Bucks. Rick Carlisle is continuing to outcoach Doc Rivers, in this matchup as well. They just don't like each other, and we saw this in the first game when Lillard was talking trash to Halliburton, and we were excited to see what would happen once Lillard came back. Once we heard the news that he was going to be 100%, he definitely had some rust missing that much time, and to go out there and the team was asking you to get 30. It's a human element. It's like, hey, you missed 6 weeks. You didn't play, probably didn't do anything, didn't do much. You should get 30.
We didn't ask for 35, but we need 30.
And we just need 27. It's just not, sometimes you see that, but it's also not realistic, if you're thinking about the human element. So it was tough for him to get back. And it's just they play the Bucks defense, their transition defense. I said this earlier in the series. We were talking about it last week. Against this team, really, that should never be an issue for you. And I saw that a lot in this series. Toppin, those guys getting behind the defense, making plays. Now the series it got close and it got competitive. And the final game 5 was a thriller. Gary Trent in game 3. Yeah, 37. Was shooting the pill, going insane. Had another really good game in game 5, but 2 crucial turnovers late in that game. Halliburton lays it up on Giannis for the lead in overtime. 119, 118. You see Halliburton standing on the scores table like Wade. So it's a good moment. It's a good moment for that city, man. They deserve that. Yeah. They deserve that. They got one. When you're in the city like Indiana and you have one, you got a guy for the next decade that's gonna bring impact winning to your city. That means it does something for sure. It does something. So what's the future of the Bucks? If I'm Giannis, I'm out of there.
I wonder where Giannis.
Giannis International's going next. Yeah, you know what I mean? Listen, family travels always, man. Family always
Miami.
Travels. Miami.
I'm not totally mad at that. I mean, Giannis is not really a 1, but he is a 1. And it opens up hero some. I mean, that's
so what? You said Giannis is not a 1?
Well, okay. Here's what I mean. Giannis is a 1. Hold up. Let me tell you what I'm thinking here. Giannis is definitely a 1, but when it comes to playoffs, he's got to have that guy who can actually score on a half-court offense. Giannis is not so much of a half-court kind of guy. It's more, rebound, let's go, and I'm just doing whatever I can to score, or, a fast-paced scorer. But when it comes to, hey, we need to run a play, that's why they went and got Dame, and that's why not Drew Holiday. Well, Drew Holiday was also big. Who's the other one?
Middleton, yeah.
Middleton. That's why they're so big to be paired up with Giannis. Yes, let me back up. Giannis is a number 1, but he needs that offensive guy who can score for him as well. So that's what I meant. I apologize. Yes,
yeah, he's a number 1, but he needs help. Got it.
Yes, I misspoke there. Okay.
All good. Just all good. Because I see 33, 15, and 6 over there. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, but no.
I'd take James Harden over him any day. And now he just takes my shirt.
But what we just what we're kind of seeing is our version of Kareem in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I mean, he won a championship there, MVP, had a lot of success, and then it was just time. And I believe it's time. He's 30. He's 30, so he's right there. This is the second half of his career. These next 10, I think I don't see him finishing his career as a staying on the Milwaukee Bucks his entire career. I don't see that. I see him going somewhere else just because I don't think they have the money to sign a marquee guy. I mean, they tried to do it with Dame, but I mean, it's just a sad situation. I mean, they tried. If you try to get Damian Lillard, you have high expectations. You're expecting, a finals appearance, really, a conference finals appearance, at least something, one of the two. For you to, not see any of that, and their first 2 years together is really disappointing. And just the way it happened too, with Lillard going down with the Achilles at 35, at this stage of the season. So he's gonna miss all of next season. It's sad, man. Like
That's
it's
crazy.
just it's sad. It's sad. That's definitely, this is one of the things we don't like about sports, but it for Giannis's future. I like one of these New York teams. I like one of these New York teams. The Knicks still have some picks. We still got some picks left, even though it felt like we gave up everything for Bridges, but we didn't. So that's a possibility. There, Brooklyn has a lot of picks. I mean, they have some of ours because for what we got for Bridges, and they got some from Harden as well. KD and Kyrie. They got the KD, Kyrie, and Mikal Bridges assets right there. Yep. So if that's something that if that's the route where Milwaukee wants to go in and do a clean reset, best team for that would be Brooklyn. Now, and then for Brooklyn, we just have to build a team around Giannis. Sean Marks is still there, I believe. Those things are tough, building a team like that with superstars, and that's not an easy thing to do, especially when the team hasn't been good. So what would give Giannis the necessary confidence that you'd be able to build a great team and you haven't been great? And you're only becoming great as soon as I get there. So even though Brooklyn has the assets, is the trust level there for Giannis for them to actually do what they're supposed to do? Because again, this is the last 10, right? So it's very important for him to go to, if he were to leave, go to a right spot. Okay, Golden State is an anomaly. What we saw in Golden State is an anomaly. They drafted Curry, Clay, and Draymond all within a span of like 3 years together. So they all grew up together and they all became elite. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen like that. It's like the Spurs. There's only a few times we've seen Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan. We've seen these other trios all on one team play together for 10 plus years. It's not a normal thing anymore in the NBA because of the salary cap and the things of that nature. So we'll see. He is a loyal guy, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be loyal forever. And you can still be loyal and getting a good trade deal, making sure the Bucks get something in return, but also making sure Giannis goes to the destination he wants to go to.
He says he's heard a rumor that Cat for Giannis if he doesn't play well against Boston. I'd like to know where that rumor came from, but it would be interesting.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if the Knicks would just get off that Cat trade after 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like there's nobody to get. I mean, they got all those picks though. Sean Marks is running the team. I don't know. He's not Sam Presti. I'll just put it that way. So I mean, she got a guy with all them picks, and he's not the guy. A little nervous. It's nerve-wracking if you're an owner and you got all those picks, and you better trust that person that you hired, because I mean that could literally set you back for another 8 years.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So it's very, very, very scary, man. So this, like I said, this next destination for Giannis, I believe, because I do believe he leaves, it's going to be massive. It's going to be a massive trade in the NBA. Thinking about maybe some teams in the West that he could potentially go to.
I think he's saying East, though.
They were saying the Spurs.
Dude.
Yeah. Giannis and Wembanyama is crazy.
With Fox.
With De'Aaron Fox is crazy, bro.
They're scoring 150 points. I mean, that pace, man, up and down the court.
Castle. You got to send Castle, Keldon, Shohan, Vassell. You got to send at least two out of those 5. And like 5 first-round picks. Spurs would be crazy, bro.
Pop may not retire if that happened.
No, I think it was time. It was time.
Yeah, it definitely was. I like that he's moving into the front office too. He's still part of it.
He built the Spurs. Let's Mickey Harrison was cutting the checks, but come on, bro.
Yeah. He says Silver would veto that.
He would veto it. I don't think he would veto it because I think they put the fix in for Wembanyama to go to the Spurs in the first place. So
that's conspiracy now, but no, I agree with you. Everybody knew it the whole time.
Everybody knew it, man.
So let's go ahead and jump into the second round matchup here, where we got the Cavaliers and the Pacers here. I actually think this is a really good matchup, honestly. Size for size, guard and guard. I mean, like, this is legit possibly a 7-game series.
Really?
I mean, I'm going to say this. Let me back up and at least say this. I have discredited the Pacers all season long, but they just 4-1 the Bucks. So, I mean, I'm ready to put some respect with them, but I mean, you know, they got Turner on the team. Who's the other big they got? Shoot.
Toppin, Jalen Smith.
Pascal as well. So, I mean, I feel like their bigs kind of match up with what they have in the Cleveland. And, of course, then you got Halliburton. It kind of takes away can't even think Spada as far as what their production is. So, I mean, I think one buys into defense that now has learned how to play offense, and I feel like the other one is still learning who they are and just straight up offense. So I do give the edge to Cleveland on this. Actually, instead of saying 7, I actually think it's going to be 6 Cleveland. But the Pacers really could be a scary team for this. Like I said, I mean, just the way they match up, you know, you've got Miles and Pascal running down low for the front line. And, of course, who else you said there? I've already forgot as far as their
Toppin.
Front court. Toppin, of course. You remember Toppin. Why would I even think that? So, I mean, it's a good matchup, I think. Size for size and what they have and the mobility of their bigs as well, I think. I see a lot of similarity in these two teams. Let me just say it that way.
Some similarities. I got the Cavs in 6. Front court, yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. I was just about to go into that. You look at Mobley and Allen versus Siakam and Turner. Turner has to play well. Mm-hmm. He has to play well. Box him out. Box out Allen. Box out Mobley. Just play like a center. You know, it stops standing in the 3-point line the whole game. You're 6'11", bro. You're 6'11". It's crazy. You only get 6 rebounds at 6'11" in 25 minutes. I don't understand that, guys. Anybody can explain that to me? How you could be 6'11" and only get 6 rebounds in 30 minutes?
Average 6 rebounds for the series.
Yeah, if you could, anybody can explain that to me, that'd be great. I would love to hear an explanation on that. But I favor the Cavs in the front court matchup. Halliburton and Nembhard versus Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Going with the Cavs. So again, backcourt. I mean, they just what we've been saying since we've been on the show. They got one of the best backcourts, one of the best front courts in the league. Mm-hmm. And then you add that to how they play. Very tough to stop. Very tough to stop. Pacers have to really be fundamentally sound. They go in that they're more of a half court. Yeah. They're more of a half court offense, and they get their buckets in different ways than how the Bucks got their buckets. So you can't just look at these styles make fights, as they say in boxing. So, you know, the Cavs style, I feel like it's a bad matchup for Indiana because Indiana likes to get stops and get on the break. And the Cavs, they play such clean, efficient basketball. Then, in addition to their defense, on the back line, Strus knocking down the pill. Then you got DeAndre Hunter coming off the bench. He could get you 18 to 20 at any given night. Coro making plays. It's coaching. The coaching is there. Coach for Carlisle versus Atkinson. Love that X's and O's chess match between those two. It's going to be competitive. I do believe the Pacers, they get a couple games, but ultimately I think the Cavs end up victorious in the series in 6. So I agree.
Well, I'm actually going to even say this. You know, looking at what we got here from NBA.com, you know, the series average, they've got Cleveland with 126, but they're not a super fast-paced team. You know, like they are efficient on what they do. when you got the Pacers that are averaging 117, but it is up and down the court, So I mean, you're convincing me more from away from my 7 for sure. I just feel like the size of what they could do, the capability, what they've done in the past here. But yeah, so like the Cavaliers, their 126 is less misses. The Tyrese and the Pacers are shooting in bunches to get to that. So, okay, you're making me feel a lot better.
17 points is not good enough for Halliburton in this series. He needs to get at least 25 and
I'm with you.
25 and 10, and then they're going to need Mathurin, Neesmith, Nemhart. They need those guards to really step up and score, be productive, be efficient, play great defense to complement and make Donovan Mitchell work on the other end. If he's not applying the same amount of effort that he is on offense, that he is on defense, it's going to be extremely difficult for the Pacers to keep up. No pun intended, man. But it's Halliburton has to score. Halliburton and Siakam, their combined point per game average as a duo has to be
55, 60.
They have a good roster. They have a good team, and the way they play, a lot of guys get the ball. So I'm going to say around like 45. 45 plus. Siakam definitely needs to be in the 25 point per game range in the series. He got the bag. He got the extension. These are series where he needs to go above his average, have a 40-point game, have a 37-point game, 9 rebounds. He has to have one of these games in this series, bro. You can't just get 21 and 7, and with the contract you got and the expectations that city is expecting you to do. When you go up against juggernaut teams like this, you're the guy that's supposed to offset what those other teams do based on how great you are. So I'm expecting Siakam to have a great series also. They're going to need it.
I agree. So it's 11-18. I think we still got 2 first rounds we got to talk about. So let's go ahead and just jump on over to these if you don't care. The one I wanted to talk about first, and I don't know why I didn't go here, but the Lakers and the Timberwolves matchup. And of course, legends, LA Legends basically against the Timberwolves. Upcoming star. Well, I don't want to say upcoming stars because Julius Randle's been there for years now, or in the league for a while. In the A, as you say, I'm trying to stay young. But Ant-Man basically running his mouth and backing it up when LeBron fakes an injury with the knee. No, I'm playing, guys. I mean, it was great to watch his 2 teams go back and forth, really. Of course, Ant-Man and Collective comes out 4-1 in the series. Game 1 went to Timberwolves 117-95. The second game went to Lakers 94-85, and then it goes back to Timberwolves the rest of the way, 116-104, 116-113, and then 103-96. Ant-Man 27 points, basically 8 assists and 6 rebounds, when Luka averaged 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. I'll let you go because I don't want to badmouth LeBron like I always do. I'm just going to listen to you and hear what you say and praise Ant-Man, who obviously is Michael Jordan's son. We all know this now.
Timberwolves defensively, man, was a masterclass. To hold this Laker team that's been scoring as well as anybody in the league over the last few months or so, under 100 3 times in 5 games is very impressive. Very impressive. Everybody they had out there, Conley, Alexander Walker, McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels was I mean, he was the guy in this series for Minnesota. When Ant-Man wasn't playing well or they're doubling up and loading up on Edwards, McDaniels 30-point game, 20-point game. They didn't Lakers, they were living with that. They'll live with him making those shots and he made them pay. And it's for him, it's the defense and everything else is already there. So if he's scoring, that shifts that shifts how the team plays. And we saw that a lot in this series. McDaniels, Randle, and Gobert outplayed Hachimura, LeBron, and Jackson Hayes / Vanderbilt. Their front court outplayed the Lakers front court. in every aspect of what you need from a front court to do. Now, I throw Nas Reed in there for the Timberwolves front court as well, no question. So they have one of the best front courts in the league. I mean, even without Karl Anthony Towns, it's still great. And I'm excited. I'm excited for, I'm just happy Julius Randle. There were questions. Is he a playoff guy? He wasn't playing well in those 2 playoff games, but he's really found his home here in Minnesota. I think him and Edwards, it's a perfect matchup. They both have the same identity in how they play. And they don't step over each other. Randall knows it's Edwards' team, and it just works and it fits. And Edwards knows he needs Randall to be successful. Love the duo. I'm happy it's flourishing. It's a big upset. Even though Minnesota was a 6 seed, the way they were playing in the second half of the season was definitely not like a 6 seed. They were playing like one of the best teams in basketball, offensively and defensively, and they really hit their stride. They used their size to their advantage. Chris Finch did a fantastic job of making his players understand that and understand what the Lakers lack in, and make them pay for what they're lacking in, and they can't even adjust to it because they don't have the roster to. And they did a great job. Chris Finch's coaching staff, and of course the players on the court, and using their size, crashing the glass. Gobert having a 27-24 game in a closeout in LA. I was looking for a moment, a big time Gobert playoff game. I've been saying this for years on the show. We saw it in the best way. In the best way, yeah, in the best way, and it's great. This is what maybe not 27 and 24, but this is the type of stuff Shaq we was talking about when he be getting on Gobert about what you should be playing better, especially on offense. And I said it in the series preview. If they could get any type of offensive production from Gobert, that's what made him so unplayable against certain lineups, because he wouldn't score. But if he's scoring, it keeps him on the court, and then it makes you continue to stay in a traditional lineup. Jackson Hayes is not strong enough, not fundamentally sound enough to be out there. And JJ Redick didn't trust him in Game 5. He was a complete DNP. I wasn't a fan of that. I felt like he could have played a little bit, brought some energy, run the floor, catch lobs, do something for them. But he wasn't playing great either, by the way. He just wasn't playing great, crashing the glass. Rui Hachimura, they asked him, like, what do they need? He said, we need guys that could get rebounds. So I'm like, my brother, you're 6'8". You're 6'8". Vanderbilt 6'9". Finney Smith is 6'7". Luka and LeBron are 6'8". Now, yeah, like no one's saying be Rodman, but all collectively, you guys can box out and get rebounds. You're quicker than the traditional lineup. So if you could get to the spot and box out, and those big men, they're not disciplined in how they try to maneuver and get the rebound. You could get an over the back foul. So we need guys that could get rebounds. Yes, of course. They do need players that strictly is solely, I'm going to get the board, kick it out, or go up. They need those type of guys where that's all they're focused on. Yes. But that's still not an excuse for you not being able to go out and get rebounds yourself. You're still out there making plays. What's stopping you from getting a double-double? Absolutely nothing. You're 6'8", not trying to hear that. So Lakers, yeah, they have to definitely have to improve on that aspect of their game. They rescinded they rescinded the Mark Williams trade, and people are saying, oh, that was a bad trade. They should have just kept it. I think it'll end up still being the right move, because next year I think Connect will start to get in that rotation in the playoffs. Going to have to play better and play defense, but I think he'll get into that rotation in the playoffs next year, and I think they will add a center who will be what we'll see. But it can't be Jackson Hayes. He's not a starting center in the NBA. So they need to add that. Maxi Kleber was getting out there. Maxi Kleber was getting minutes. So and he was coming off like a calf strain or something like that. LeBron, the game 4 was the really concerning game to me, because they had that game. Really, it was Lakers game for the taking, and we were going to see 2-2. and they collapsed in the fourth quarter. LeBron had 0 points in the fourth quarter, just completely faded. And there are times where he fades as well. There are definitely times where he does fade.
I didn't say you did.
It's just, hey, bro, I'm objective, man. And in that game, Embiid had 43. So it's like, and LeBron had 27 in the game, but 0 points in the fourth quarter. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I picked the Lakers to win the series in 6. I thought the games were competitive for the most part, but like I said, Minnesota's defense, they yeah, what was in 5? Yeah, Shannon definitely cursed the Lakers. Shannon definitely cursed the Lakers, man. Out here being wild and everything, bro. He cursed LA for sure.
He sure did.
For some respect on Julius, yeah, he silenced a lot of haters, man.
He did. Especially on that 3. I mean, just out of nowhere. I mean, yeah, you can shoot it, but you don't shoot it a lot. But that one, like a little step back there, it was a crucial 3.
Going to the basket, attacking the glass. He's like, yo, these guys have no center. If I could break through the first line, I'm good. And that's what they did. We could get through, and they had AR and Luka in space, and McDaniels was giving them problems. So, if McDaniels giving you, who's not really like an ISO type guy, if he's giving you problems in space, just imagine what Randall and Edwards are going to do. It was tough, man. Luka, here we go. Talented, scorer, has to get in better shape. I mean, he has to get in better shape. You go from the finals to getting packed up in the first round. That's I know the West is tough, but everybody expected the Lakers to win the series, except, of course, the people in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Timberwolves fans across the world.
Yep.
But he has to get in better shape. It's true. Now, do I feel like that was a good enough reason to trade him, like what the Mavericks did? No. Only if you went to him and this is what I'm saying. It's like, we really don't know and I feel like Nico Harrison and those guys are kind of holding things back to kind of not make Luka look bad or whatever. But ultimately, there had to have been more to this in terms of why they got rid. They said conditioning, strength and conditioning was a factor. You said defense wins championships, and Luka is going to have to get into better shape, because this is the second year in a row where they've attacked him in space and he hasn't been able to answer the call. He's also one of those guys where he'll sit down, he'll play defense when he's making his shots. I don't like players like that. As special as he is, he's talented, but I don't like players with that mindset. Oh, now let me sit in the chair and lock up because I made 2 shots. Like, what? Like, how about you play defense and go create the shot? Like, how about that? You know what I mean? Like, and when you have great players with already that type of habit like that, it's tough to break. So this is big. This is big for Luka, bro. This is monumental. This is not Dallas, where Dallas fans, like, they'll be okay with, you kind of getting a beer and hookah Doncic and stuff. This is different. Laker Nation is very different. They've seen the best of the best forever, and they've seen the best of the best win championships. So, as talented as you are, they don't care about the talent. They care about you bringing championships. So, this is a big moment for Luka's career this offseason.
Let's be honest. We've talked about how big LA is compared to bigger than LeBron. And you know how LeBron is, like, LA is that much bigger. So Luka, I mean, it's a lot bigger than who you are. So, I mean, we'll see how he answers next season for sure.
Yeah, the expectations are different. And then, just like legacy check marks for Anthony Edwards. Legacy check marks.
Yes.
You pack up KD in the first round last year, sweep KD. Sweep KD. And then gentlemen sweep Luka and LeBron healthy. And it's not like they were coming off. They were healthy. They were playing great basketball when this series started. And you pack them up in 5.
Ant-Man, Batman, Spider-Man, Wolves at 5.
Pretty much 27, 8, and 6. Next up, I mean, he's already here, but he's going to be. He said he didn't want to be the face of the NBA, but if he brings a championship, he'll be the face, just because of his style and the way he plays.
Yes.
He has the A+ athleticism that like and the highlight reel that necessarily Tatum doesn't have. So that's why people like are, even though I feel like Tatum should be in the conversation for face of the NBA based on what he's accomplished and what he's done in his career. But he doesn't create the highlight plays that Ant-Man can create with everything else. So that's why people are trying to lean towards him to be the face. But either way, I think the NBA would be in great hands, man. This guy, he's not scared of anybody. And then the team reflects that. The rest of the team reflects that, literally. Like, he's not scared of LeBron, Luka, and everything. And when the series started, he said, everybody's against us. We're going to be the underdogs. That's cool. That's fine. We're here. We're going to see what happens when the ball goes up. And then, the pack up the Lakers like this in 5 was very impressive all around by the Timberwolves, man. They did an incredible job.
Here's all I'm going to say on this. Ant-Man, the reason why, to me, he's going to be the face of the NBA is because the highlights that you were talking about excites the younger generation, but the attitude keeps the old heads entertained as well. So he's bringing different generations together just to like him for the NBA, and I think he has to be the face of the NBA. But there's rumors that if he wins a championship in the next 4 years, he'll go play MLB, just like his dad did. You heard me say it.
No, so he wins a championship in Minnesota too. Like, think about that, and it's not even a big market. Like, that'll take it again. And American as well. Like, it's necessary. We'll see, man. This is a great start, man. It's just living up to the hype about the West. Like, it doesn't matter where the seeding was. It's about who's playing the best basketball at the right time, and man, this team, they got rid of Cat, they traded Cat. People had their questions on what this team would look like. Would it be different? How Randall and Edwards would play together? Gobert, how was Gobert able to stay longer? And all these different narratives that are created, and they just locked in, silence and noise. Ant-Man put this team on his back, and it's been great to watch. Great to watch.
Of course, we can't talk about their second round because it's still undetermined on who they're playing. So let's go ahead and talk about that first round matchup that's still going on. I think they play tomorrow. I'm not sure of the time, but we've got the Rockets against the Warriors. Warriors are up 3-2. I thought we was in game 7 now, ain't we?
Yes, 3-3. I got to update that, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking it was winner take all here. So the Warriors won the first. Houston wins the second. Warriors, Houston. So, yes, tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. looks like it's going to be – it doesn't say where it's on. But, yeah, so we got Steph averaging 24 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And, of course, Şengün, 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists as well. It's really, man, it's been a back-and-forth battle. Both teams couldn't get in the 100 points. The first game, second game, Warriors are only at 94. The Houston comes up with 109. And it's basically whoever gets to 100 first wins.
Whoever gets 100 points. Yeah, that's what it's looking like so far in the series. But the Rockets really look like they figured something out here lately. Defensively, man, I'm in Amen Thompson, man. Like I said, both brothers. I mean, they're incredible, bro. And defensively, what he's done on Steph, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet has really hit his stride in these few games, kind of picking up the slack from what Jalen Green just hasn't been able to do on a consistent level. This game 7 it's must see because since they're home, you might get a good game from Jalen Green. So it could definitely improve their chances. We saw how well they played in that game in game 5 when he had 30 something in the game. You saw how completely unlocked the entire team, their offense on both ends. And this is his first time in the playoffs too, just like Cade. So it's not like this is how it's going to be, but he's struggling right now, and he has an opportunity to end all of that by eliminating Steph and Jimmy Butler, Draymond in the first round. I mean, that's also on some Ant-Man type stuff. Freddie found his shot. Yeah, he found his shot in these last few games. And going back home, that was a big win yesterday. I don't know what happened to the Warriors in that fourth quarter. It was a complete collapse. The game was pretty relatively close, back and forth throughout the whole game. And then, they went on a 6-minute run where they weren't able to score. And the Rockets, were able to continue to get buckets and get stops. Very impressive from Houston. Ime Udoka, one of the best coaches in the world, top coach of the year candidate as well, from 11 seed to a 2 seed. The Rockets, what he was able to do, and now having an opportunity, now having a Game 7 in Houston with the chance to eliminate Curry and Butler. It's what you asked for. I mean, this is it. Şengün, 20-11-5, his playoff debut. He was playing great. Not scared in the moment. Not letting Draymond get in his head, because that's what Draymond likes to do against the European bigs. He likes to mess with them mentally, do a little dirty stuff, do little things that's not basketball to try to get them off their cue, have them think about something else. And for some guys it works, like Sabonis, Nurkic, some of these other players go bare at times. But Şengün, he's been able to just play his game, be physical. I think Udoka does a great job of keeping his confidence high. They do a great job of preparation. And this is a close Game 7, man. This is a real pick'em. Seeing the young team, new era. It'll be nice to see the Rockets versus the Timberwolves.
Hey.
Right? That'll be pretty fun, because I do believe that'll be a matchup for years that we'll continue to see going forward. Thompson versus Edwards, that matchup when Edwards has the ball and Thompson is guarding him, that's must see TV. And the same, it's too big for Green. Yeah, it's just if he plays his size and does what he's supposed to do, definitely he's going to make it tough for Green. But Green Draymond's still very special with what he does defensively. Curry, I'm expecting a big game from Steph. After the game last night, he was like, you could get packed up. So I'm expecting him and Jimmy to really step up. This is why they brought Jimmy to the team, to have these moments at home or on the road, more specifically on the road in the playoffs. You got the nickname Playoff Jimmy. He played well yesterday, but I just think Steph needs to be a little bit more efficient. I know he's dealing with that thumb injury on his shooting hand. That's definitely altered his shot and hindered him a little bit. But probably gonna need 55 combined plus from Butler and Curry tomorrow if they want to win this game. It's gonna be a great game, man. I got this one going in overtime. I'm going with Golden State in overtime.
I'm going back, and I've talked about this before. I think I even said this would go to Game 7 last week when I was talking about it, because I referred to the Warriors and Kings last year went to the Game 7, and it was just fun watching these two high-power offense go at it. But then I think I also said I think I got Golden State in Game 7, but just because the veterans that will show up for that final 7 like they did against the Kings. So I'm going Warriors again with that, staying loyal to that. I think Curry's going to go for about – I'm going to say he's going to go 35-40 on this one, and I just think they're going to ball out here. I think it's great growing pains here. I don't want to say growing pains, but great growing for the Rockets moving forward to go to Game 7 against the Warriors, who I've said all along that since the Jimmy Butler trade, that I'm still picking to win the NBA Finals. Might be changing a little bit, but as of right now, I'm
still picking the Warriors to win the Finals over OKC. Whoa! Wait, when was this?
I mentioned it once. I mentioned it once. So,
I'm shocked.
So,
when was this?
It's been probably it was
I know we talked about who would be a threat to OKC.
Yeah, I think actually.
But I don't remember,
because we talked about the Lakers or Warriors, who would have the better chance, and I went Warriors. Maybe that's what I'm referring.
Oh, okay.
Maybe let me back up. I'm going there. So yeah.
It's your pick, bro. I'm just saying. I haven't heard you. I didn't hear you say that before.
Yeah, no. I said the Warriors were my pick over the Lakers as far as going forward. So I do think they're going to the Western Finals. Man, I can't wait to watch the Timberwolves and Warriors match up as well.
Yeah, whoever they match up with is going to be great.
Yeah, just watching that Timberwolves series there and just the talk and backing it up. I mean, it's hard to say that the Timberwolves don't win that series, whoever it is. But I'm going to go Warriors in 7 here. Kind of like what you used to say last year, it's hard to go against AD and LeBron in any dual series against who they're going with. It's still hard to go against Curry with anybody on his team when it comes to the playoffs time. So, go Warriors here.
Going Warriors too. I will say the Warriors, they do need one more player on the road tomorrow to make some timely shots and plays.
Mm-hmm. And that's Butler.
No. Other than Butler and Curry. I'm talking about like a Podziemski, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield. Yeah, one of those 3 guys is going to have a really good game tomorrow too.
Okay. I agree with that.
Because, again, Houston is at home and, like I said, Jalen Green is really the wild card. And so you expect them being home, he would play better. It's going to be a great game.
All right. I think that wraps up our show for today. Great show. I think it was a lot of fun. I appreciate all the comments, guys. We had quite a few comments going on there. Appreciate that, Monkey. Of course, we got 54 live with us right now, mostly on your Twitter account. We appreciate that. But if you guys are watching, thank you for the subscription you said earlier. Please go subscribe to your YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, X, and also our Facebook page as well. Guys, it's a great time of year to be an NBA fan. What all's going on with so many storylines with that. But until we see you all next time, CJ, where can we find you at?
Find me on X at CJames9_. CJ versus the World on YouTube. Road to 200 subscribers. Thank you guys. See you guys next week.
Also, I don't know if you knew this, but my daughter was the one that pointed out we're up to 130 subscribers on our YouTube for MNC. So we getting there on our road to 200.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, I want to bring in the comment. I just see one here. Okay, great show, man. We appreciate it, man, for sure.
Appreciate you stopping by, man. Thank you.
But you can find me, MD Lawson00, on all social media platforms. I do have my second podcast, Cats Chat, where we're talking to everything Kentucky sports. Got Cameron Mills, a former 2-time NCAA championship winner with the 96 team with Patino and 98 with Toby Smith. He's going to be on the show with us Wednesday. So really excited about that. Sad, as crazy as it is, we become friends. He came on the show one time last year, and we've actually texted back and forth with some things on here. So it's actually really cool that our podcast has made that kind of a connection there. So, yeah, awesome.
Crazy.
But, guys, until we see you all again, jump on 2K with us. That's where I'm about to be right now for about an hour, working on my center. I'm getting pretty good with him as far as doing things. I'm not going to say any post moves or anything, but rebounds and blocks and kick out. So I've actually, instead of the 2K screen, you know how it always switches, you know, when it's a turnover, whatever switches possession, it switches. I've quit that. I've just got it to where I'm defense. I'm right behind the goal where I can see when I get that rebound, I see who's out and I can just throw it. So those outlet passes are so much more smoother doing that. But guys, again, thank you all so much for joining in. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully around Thursday, more than likely.
Yes.
All right. Guys, have a good one.
Take care, guys.